Hello everyone, welcome back to the Aradhya Tech World. So today we are going to start with the chapter 2, which will talk uh, about Linux, some how to get help in Linux. So whatever command we are going to use in the Linux system, so how to get or what are all the different types of options available for each and every command. Okay, so let's start with the presentation. So in chapter 2 we're going to learn about getting help in Linux. So to resolve problems by using online help systems and Linux support utilities, reading documentation using man command. So okay, man is one of the utility getting used in Linux, which will help to give the various kind of information or various kinds of options or supported syntax to be used in uh, to be used in to be used with the Linux commands. Okay, so what is man command? Man command in Linux is used to display the user manual of any command that we can run on the terminal. Okay, it provides a detailed view of the command, which includes name, synopsis, description, options, exit status, return values, errors, files, so on. Okay, every manual is divided into the following sections: executable programs or shell commands, system calls, library calls, then special files usually found in dev, file formats and convention, example etc passwd, miscellaneous including micro packages and convention, system administration commands usually only for root, kernel routines, etc. So basically the syntax of man command is man, the command name, option and the command name. Okay, options and examples. No option, it displays the whole manual of the command. Syntax, man, command name. Okay, section number, since the manual is divided into multiple sections, so this option used to display only a specific section of a manual. What is the syntax of it? Man, section number and command name. Okay, so once we start the practical session, I will show you everything, how to use these commands and how to get help from the man command for each and every Linux command, and what are their different kinds of options are available and how we can utilize them while performing the system administration activities. Okay, so next jump into the next slides. Here we'll talk about creating, viewing and editing files. Okay, so it's to create, view and edit text files from command output or in an editor. Okay, so standard input, standard output and standard error. What is this? A running program needs to read input from somewhere and write output to the screen or to files. A command run from the shell prompt normally reads its input from the keyboard and sends its output to its terminal window. A process uses numbered channels called file description to get input and send output. All processes will have at least three file descriptors to start with. Standard input, which is channel 0, reads input from the keyboard. Standard output, channel 1, sends normal output to the terminal. Standard error, channel 2, sends error messages to the terminal. Okay, so this below table will explain about what are the numbers, what are the channel name, what is the description about it, default connections and the usage of that particular channels. Okay, number 0 means standard input. Okay, and default connection is keyboard, means whatever you are going to type through your keyboard, that input it will take as a standard input. So its usage is read only. Okay. So number one, it is the std out, standard output. Okay. And whatever commands we are executing on the terminal, okay, that it will display the output, though it usage is write only. Okay, number two, it's a standard error. Okay. And suppose typing, I'm executing one of the command which will throw some errors. Okay, that is called standard error. Usage is write only. Okay. Number three, plus file name, description other files, default connection none. It will perform read and or write operation. Okay. So let's move to the next slide. Redirecting output to a file. Okay. What is redirection? Input output redirection replaces the default channel destinations with the file names representing either output files or devices. Using redirection, process output and error messages normally sent to the terminal window can be captured as a file contents, sent to device or discarded. Output redirection operators. These basically this table talks about what are available output redirection operators. Okay, in Linux. So we'll see the usage and explanation. Okay. So this first usage, uh, greater file, greater symbol and file, redirect std out to overwrite a file, double greater sign file, redirect std out to append to a file, two greater than symbol file, redirect standard error to overwrite a file, option 2 greater symbol slash dev slash null, discard standard error messages by redirecting to dev null. Dev the basically this slash dev slash null file is called garbage directory, we can say. Whatever unused error message we can that redirect that message to this dev null directory. Okay. So greater symbol file, two greater symbol and symbol one, redirect std out and std error to overwrite the same file. Okay. uh, then double greater than symbol file, two greater than dollar one, and symbol dollar file, sorry, greater than symbol file, redirect std out and std error to append to the same file. Okay. Single greater than symbol, which will write the content to the file. Okay. And if you again use that symbol and you are going to append the content to the same directory, then it will overwrite that particular content, means it will remove the existing content and write the new content. But if you use the double greater than symbol, it will, instead of overwriting, it will append the new content, means it will add the content. Okay. Okay, let's move to the next slide. Examples for output redirection. Okay. Many routine administration tasks are simplified by using redirection. Okay. Save a timestamp for later reference. This is just one example. Date greater than symbol slash tmp slash saved timestamp. Copy the last 100 lines from a log file to another file. Okay. Concatenated 4 lines into one. List the home directories, hidden and regular file names into a file. Then append output to an existing file. Okay. So we'll see all these commands in our practical session. Okay. Let's move to the next slide. Examples for output redirection. In the next example, errors are generated since normal users are denied access to system and directories. Redirect errors to a file while viewing normal command output on the terminal. Okay, so like save process output and error message to separate files, ignore and discard error messages, store output and generated errors together, append output and generated errors to an existing file. Okay, we'll see in the practical session. I will explain each and every command. Okay, so let's move to the next slide. Constructing pipelines. Okay, a pipeline is a sequence of one or more commands separated by pipe, the pipe character. A pipe connects the standard output of the first command to the standard input of the next command. Okay, pipeline examples means basically if I suppose I'm going to execute one of the command. Okay, suppose I'm echoing something. Okay, uh, echo and the message. Okay, and I'll pipe that command. I'll give the pipe character, and I want to count the lines wc hyphen l. So means it will get the output from first command, and it will pass that output to the next command as a input. Okay, in example we'll see how to work with how to work around this. Okay, pipeline examples. This example takes the output of the ls command, uses less to display it on the terminal one screen at a time. Okay, then the output of the ls command is piped to wc-l, which counts the number of lines received from ls and sprints that to terminal. Okay, in this pipeline, head will output the first 10 lines of output from ls-t with the final result redirect to a file. Okay, let's move to the next slide. Pipelines, redirection and t. Okay, when the redirection combined with pipeline, the shell first sets up the entire pipeline, then it redirects input output. What this means is that if output redirection is used in the middle of a pipeline, the output will go to the file and not to the next command in the pipeline. Okay, in this example the output of the ls command will go to the file and less will display nothing on the terminal. Okay, the T command is used to work around this. In a pipeline, T will copy its standard input to its standard output and will also redirect its standard output to the files named as the arguments to the command. Okay, so we'll see these commands in practical session. Okay, let's move to the next slide. Yeah, that's it. Okay, let's jump into the practical session. Okay, so I will give the example of date command. So date will display this message. Okay, and if I want to see the are what are the options are available for the date command which we can utilized. Okay, in the Linux, so you just need to give the man and the date command. Okay, and if you hit enter, it will basically this is the man page for that particular command. Okay, so name, you can see various whatever I explained you, different kinds of sections are available here. Name, synopsis, description, you can see here. Okay, name, date, print or set the system date and time. Okay, and these are the synopsis, date, option, format, and what are the options you can use it, hyphen u, hyphen utc. Oh, so description, display the current time in the given format or set the system date. So mandatory argument to long options are mandatory for short options too. So these are the various kind of options are available. Hyphen d, hyphen date, string, display time described by string not now. Okay, hyphen a, file, date file, then hyphen I, hyphen r. These are the various kinds of option are available which we can use with the date command. Then format controls the output. Then even you can see here. So these are the basically what are all options are available. Percentage, then percentage a, like this, these are the options we can use with the date command. Then environment, even also you can see the examples of it. Okay, you can see this first, date hyphen hyphen date, and the these are the examples. So like this, for each and every command, the man page is available on the Linux systems. Okay, so just type q to come out from this. Even I will show you for the man. I will give the lv. No, it's not available, I think. So if you give man echo, you can see this also. Okay, same way you can see, or you can check for each and every command for the various kinds of examples, various kinds of options which you can use in the Linux. Okay, so let's move to the, okay, we'll discuss about the examples. Okay, what are all the examples for the input output redirections. Okay, so I'll copy this first example. It will save a timestamp for a later reference. Okay, if I execute, okay, it has been executed now. Okay, means if I type this date, execute this date command, it will show this message. Okay, and just if you want to see if this output is redirected to this file. Okay, I will just do vim tmp saved saved timestamp. Instead of vim, I'll just cat this file. Okay, see, whatever printing on the terminal, it has been redirected to the this particular file. Okay, saved timestamp. Okay, let's see the next example. Copy the last 100 lines from a log file to another file. Okay, I will execute this command. Okay, tail hyphen m 100 var log d message. Okay, let's create this file. We go to the tmp, then I'll create this file. Okay, I have created this file. I'll come out from this. Now I'll execute this command. Okay, cannot open hyphen n for reading no such a file array. For reading no such a file or directory. Okay, instead of this, we'll see where etc pass wd. Okay, copy the last 100 lines from a log file to another file. Okay, so let's come to the 10. etc pass wd. Okay, got it. Command not found means this vim command is not available. Okay, let me install it. So I have installed that. So if you run this command, okay, I executed this command. Okay, now if you do vim to this tmp directory, and if you see this command, you can see it will copied, it has been copied 10 lines here. Okay, so it is overwriting basically. So if you again execute this, if I give this instead of 10 20, it will show you this, it has been overwritten. Okay. Okay, so let's see the next example. Concatenate four lines into one. Okay, so let me create the files first. Okay, okay, I have created these four files here, file 1, file 2 and file 3 and file 4, and I have written some content in each file. Okay, welcome to the Aradhya Tech World. If you see file 2 as well, so it will show the message. So what will do this command basically, if I run this cat file 1, file 2, file 3, file 4, it will concatenate all the messages in single file. Okay, if I run this command, you can see all four lines will be collectively in the collectively gathered together. Okay, and if I view this file temp all four in one, you can see, so it will gather all four files contained into single file. Okay, so let's see the next command. List the home directories hidden and regular file names into a file. Okay, so if I execute this command, cannot access no such a file or directory. Okay, so I'll go to the tmp directory. Here I will create the file, my file slash names. Okay, now I will execute this command. Again showing no such a file or directory, ls hyphen a. Okay, let me view the content of this file now. Think is there. Okay, we'll see append output to an existing file. Okay, if I want to append, so what we'll do, I will execute this command, it will append this line into this file. Okay, so again I will write something new content here and we'll try to append it. Welcome to the Aradhya Tech World. Okay, and if I do cat of this file, you can see new line of information, welcome to the Aradhya Tech World. So double greater than symbol, what it will do, it will append the content in a existing file. Okay, but if you use the single greater than symbol, it will override the existing content of the file. Okay, so let's move to the next slide. Examples for output redirection. So let's check these examples. In the examples or output redirection, in the next examples, errors are generated since normal users are denied access to the system directories. Redirect errors to a file while viewing normal command output on the terminal. Okay, so if I execute this command, what it is doing, it will just give the message first, and whatever errors will be redirected to the this tmp errors file. Okay, so it lists down whatever present in this in the pass wd file. Okay, and if I see that correct, uh, if you look into the file, you can see this is the error, no such a file or directory. Okay, So next, save process output and error message to separate files. If I okay, I will first remove this file tmp errors. Yes. Okay. Now I will execute this. Okay. And if you see, it will store the output in this file, and whatever errors getting generated, it will store into the tmp errors files. Okay. If you see the output of this directory tmp output, you can see it has been this message has been redirected to output file. But if you see the content of these errors, you can see error has been redirected to this, means it is separated. Okay, whatever message getting generated, it is stored in the output file, and whatever the errors getting generated would be saved in tmp errors file. Okay, so now ignore and discard error messages. Okay, if I execute this, first I'll remove that directory output file. Yes. Okay, now I will execute this command. Okay, it has been executed. What it will do, it will ignore the error message. Okay, and it will store the actual output in the output file. If you do cat of this output file, see, error message has been discarded, it had been ignored. Okay, so basically it will go into the dev null. Dev null, it is basically a garbage directory. Okay, so let's look at now let's look at the next example. Store output and generated errors together. Okay, so I will execute this command. Okay, now what this command will do, it will store both errors and actual message in the same file. If I do cat of this command, see, these are the actual output and this is the error message. Both are stored in the same file. Now append output and generated errors to an existing file. So if I execute this command, it will append the, if I re-execute this command, suppose first time I executed, again I will execute, and if you see, if you do the vim, oh sorry, see, first this section, then it will, so basically if I re-execute the command, it will, instead of overwriting, it will append the same content to below it. Okay, I'm just going to show you. Okay, if I search hyphen name, find, see, two times it has been appended. You can see the difference. This is the first line, and if you do, this is the second, this is the third. Okay, in this way this will come, this command will work. Okay, so now let's move to the next slide, which will talk about constructing the pipelines. A pipeline is a sequence of one or more commands separated by pipe, the pipe character. A pipe connects the standard output of the first command to the standard input of the next command. So let's look at the examples of pipelines. Okay, let's look at the next command. Okay, let's see pipeline examples. This example takes the output of the ls command and uses less to display it on the terminal one screen at a time. So if I execute this command, what it will do, it will do the ls-l to this usr bin directory and it will show the output on the terminal with the less command. Okay, if I execute, you can see it did the ls to this and it is showing passing the output to the less command. Okay, now the output of the ls command is piped to wc-l, which counts the number of lines received from ls and sprint that to the terminal. So if I do ls pipe wc-l, you can see. Okay, why it is giving 5? If you do ls, you can see 1 2 3 4 file 5 files are available in this directory. Okay, it will, that's why it is showing 5 count. Okay, what is doing ls, whatever the output of ls, it is passing to the wc command. Okay, and now in this pipeline, head will output the first 10 lines of output from ls-t with the final result directed to a file. So if I type ls-t, what is this? Okay, then pipe head hyphen n10, then greater than symbol slash tmp, then this one. If I execute this and if I cat this, it will show ls-t, it will, whatever the output is generated by ls-t, it will pass to the head and it will print out the 10 first lines and store that output into the this particular file. Okay, now let's move to the next slide, pipelines redirection and t. When the redirection combined with pipeline, the shell first sets up the entire pipeline, then it redirects the input output. What this means is that if output redirection is used in the middle of pipeline. Okay, we'll see the example of this. Okay, in this example, the output of the ls command will go to the file. Okay, and less will display nothing on the terminal. So if I execute this command, okay, so I will do ls-l, sorry, ls slash tmp saved output, then I will give the pipe and the less. Okay, so okay, I'll just quit and we'll just cat this tmp save output. You can see whatever content is listed by this ls command, it will redirect it to this. Okay, and if I execute this command again, it will show the that particular last 10 lines something it will show. Okay, quit this. Okay, the t command is used to work around this. In a pipeline, t will copy its standard input to its standard output and will also redirect its standard output to the files named as an argument to the command. Pipeline examples using the t command. This example will redirect the output of the ls command to a file and will pass it to the less to display on the terminal a screen at a time. Okay, we already executed. Okay, let's execute this command once again. ls-l pipe t slash tmp slash saved output pipe less. Fine, it will show less first 10 lines something. Okay, less 5 lines or maybe 10 lines on the terminal. Okay, so whatever output generated by ls hyphen l, it will give as an input to t, and then it will whatever output is generated by t command, it will give as an input to less command using pipe character. Okay, if t is used at sorry, excuse me, if t is used at the end of pipeline, then the final output of command can be saved and output to the terminal at the same time. Okay, ls hyphen t, I will execute this command, head hyphen n 10 5 t slash tmp. Okay, so you can see first 10 lines it will print. Okay, ls hyphen t, the output of this first command, uh, it will pass it to head as an input, and whatever output is generated by head command, it will pass it to the t command as a input. If I do cat here, see, yeah. So we already covered what are the content about the Linux chapter 2. Okay, so that's it from my end for today's session. So please do like, share and subscribe to my channel, and whatever queries you have, please comment me in the comment box. I will try to sort it out. Thank you very much for watching this video. We'll meet in the next video or upcoming video. Thank you so much. Bye, take care.